much better. I still got some issues to work through, but let's talk about it at the wrap-up. So please watch to the end. Hello and welcome to Random Things. This is Ty, and today we're going to do a part 2 of the Lectric XP Step Through 2.0 20-mile bike ride. So yesterday I had some problems with it, and I got 2 great comments from Amir Dennis and the Electric Kahuna confirming that my settings are wrong. What they had suggested was that I change my speed limit from default 32 to 45, which makes it a class 3. I have some problems with that, and I'll show you. The other suggested change was to change my power assist sensitivity from default 3 to 1, which means 3 full revolutions to kick in right now, but change it to 1, and then power assist strength from 1 to 5 to give it more strength. And hopefully that will get me the prescribed range, which is about 180-pound guy should get 25 miles on pure throttle use and mostly pedal assist 5. So we're going to test that. So let's go ahead and make those changes. Okay, so this is what I was talking about in terms of changing the top speed. So right now it's at 32 kilometers per hour. If I try to change that, and according to the book, it says go to 45. But when I toggle, it goes straight from 32 to 100, which is wrong. Next is changing the power assist cranks to sensitivity to 1, and that will kick in power assist sooner. And the power, changing that from 1 to 5. So we're going to test out these settings and see how this 20-mile ride does. So back to main menu, power off to store the settings, and that's it. Well, we're going to do our 20-mile ride again, and this time we're going to do class 2, so 20 miles an hour max, and then I'm going to try to do pedal assist mode 3, 4, and 5. Hopefully I can do this 20 miles and have plenty of batteries left. So here we go. We are. Let's go ahead and change it to pedal assist 3, and then I'll adjust as we ride. And I'll do more updates as we come along. Alright, doing a mid-trip update. So we're at 37 miles, so that's about 7 miles into the ride. 7 miles into the ride. And 30 minutes roughly so far. I don't know why it's showing 51.8 volts, but that's what it's showing. No current right now. Definitely doing a lot better in terms of battery. Been on pedal assist 3, averaging 17 miles an hour, but it's early in the morning and I have a tailwind. So I noticed something interesting when I was riding and how the current reacts. I try to do a little riding to show you. It'll be a little hard to do this with the camera. I'll give it a try. So as you watch me pedal, it'll jump up to 18 amps, and as I ride, and if you ride steady, it'll hold at 2 to 3 amps. What I notice is when I'm on gears 3, 4, it reacts a little differently than if I'm on gear 5. And so what you want to do is you want to get to a lower amp, general lower amp setting. Sorry, traffic. So you want to hold a steady amp if you can, and preferably around 3, right? Because if it's a 7 amp hour battery, if you run 3.5 amps on average draw, or if you're running, like let's say right now, hold on a second. Okay, so right now I'm riding in pedal assist mode 3. You see the amp just kicked in. So it jumped up to about 14. So that's the inrush current. And now, what you want to do is you want to be steady around 4 or 5. So if it's a 8 amp hour battery, if you're steady at 4, in theory, you should get 2 hours of riding, 17 miles an hour. Times 2, steady 35 miles, right? So, learning a lot about how to control the amp draw will be important on improving the ride distance. Okay, I changed it to pedal assist 4. So there's the initial inrush current to get me started. Hopefully I can stabilize around anywhere from 3 to 6 amps or current draw at 20 miles an hour. Again, keep in mind, I set this at class 2, 32 kilometers an hour because I couldn't get it set correctly. But 20 miles is all right for now. So, baby steps, right? I'm gonna go and put this bike through all its steps. So, PS4, we're getting about 6 amps current draw. So, again, if it's a 8 amp battery at 5-6 amps, you're gonna get about an hour and a half at 20 miles an hour. You need 30 miles if you're able to ride steady and keep the current steady. The problem always comes with inrush current. So again, that's like I stop pedaling, see how it goes to 0, and then I start pedaling again, and there's an inrush current right there. Okay, so I've been riding for the last mile, and what I don't like is the variability in the current. It's kind of hopping all over the place. I'm not sure why. In that process, I've chewed up 2 bars of battery. So you can see I'm just pedaling, and it's relatively flat on that river channel drive. I don't understand why it is fluctuating like that. That is something maybe somebody can give me some insight, because that's going to chew up batteries. See, look, I lost another bar. Whew. Made it. All right, let's see. Okay, so the latter part, I went to PAS4, pedal assist 4, and it was actually at 2 bars when I first stopped. So as soon as I stopped, the battery came back up a little bit. So let's cycle through. Let's see. Trip was 17.9 miles. Right now the voltage is 46.5. No current, and it was 1 hour and 10-minute ride for that 17 miles. So obviously it's doing much better, or it did much better. I don't really like the way the current bounces around in pedal assist 4. In pedal assist 3, it's a lot more steady. Maybe it's just because I need to pedal harder. I don't know. If people can comment and let me know, that would be helpful. So, well, it's time to go home. So I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna go home this time, and I'm gonna try a couple of different pedal assist modes. Still having some problems adjusting it to 45 kilometers per hour. So I'm keeping it at 32. So going home, I'm gonna start out at pedal assist mode 2, and so you can see kind of how much current draw I'm doing. There's that inrush current. And then getting to speed, then it's down to like 2 to 1 amps. So that's the current draw. Obviously, you should be able to get quite a bit of distance when you're only drawing 1 amp for a while. Okay, directly into the wind. Pedal assist 2, only doing about 12 miles an hour, but pulling about 2 to 3 amps. Earlier, it was steady at 1 amps. So, going into the wind definitely slows you down quite a bit, and it pulls a little bit more amps. Welcome to the wrap-up. As I talked about in the intro, the results today was much better. I actually ended up doing 2 rides. I rode to work, which is about 20 miles, and then I rode home again because I wanted to test something else on the ride home. So on the ride to work, I was in pedal assist mode 3, sometimes 4 and 5, and I showed you some videos of that. At pedal assist mode 3, it seems to be fairly steady. But when I got up to pedal assist mode 4, and I never did get to pedal assist 5, only got to pedal assist 4. Because at pedal assist 4, with the wind to my back, I was already pushing the limit, which is 20 miles an hour. So there really was no point in going to pedal assist 5. So at pedal assist 4, I saw that initially the amp draw was fairly steady, but then it started getting erratic. So I'm not really sure why. At first I thought maybe it has to do with the shifting, but the more I ride, the less I think that's it. So I haven't quite figured it out. So if there's any viewers out there that knows why that's doing that and can help smooth that out, please comment below. I think that'll be helpful for everybody, including me. I'm still trying to figure this bike out. Now, I got there and I still got decent battery, so I wasn't too worried. I think I could have gotten maybe another 5, maybe 7 miles more to get to 25 miles of riding. But that's not exactly what the goal was. The goal was trying to get 25 miles at almost full throttle. And the reason why I'm trying to achieve that is if I went riding with some of my roadie friends, they ride in the range of 15 to 20 miles an hour, but they don't have a battery, so they just kind of keep going like the damn Energizer Bunny. So I gotta be able to keep up with my Energizer battery. Otherwise, if I ran out of battery, I'm never gonna be able to keep up with them. And it's a heavy bike to be pedaling. And so I'm trying to figure out what is it that I'm gonna be able to do with my friends on the bike path. And this is a good test for me to see, how to use this bike. It definitely has some advantages. I tell you right now, my 9-year-old son loves that bike, so I don't think there's any way that he's gonna let me get rid of it if I decide that it's not for me. But anyway, on the way home, what I wanted to test was, I wanted to test pedal assist mode 2, just to see, and this was actually a comment from one of the viewers. I want to say it's either Amir or the Kahuna, but they were saying that on pedal assist 1, people were getting like 45 plus miles. So I put on pedal assist 2, and I rode, and I saw very steady current draw, 1 to 2 amps. You're only going about 12 to maybe 15 miles an hour, depending on if you're going into the wind or wind's behind you. But the most important is as you're pedaling, it is assisting you, and you're only drawing about 2 amps. So let's say if it's a 8 amp battery, if you're steady at 2 amps, that's 4 hours of riding, 12 miles an hour, you're getting 45 plus miles. Of course, the math is not that straightforward. There's a little bit of variability, and as well as you have to deal with the inrush currents from stopping and going, whether you're weaving through traffic or you're at a stoplight or what have you. So it's not that direct correlation, but it's close. At least it'll give you an idea. Can't be any worse than that battery gauge, because that thing's probably plus or minus 25%. So riding a while, you can kind of get a feel for what kind of distance you're going to be able to achieve. But again, I would really hope maybe some of the viewers know what I'm doing wrong, and especially why is it that I can't adjust the speed limit into a class 3. In other words, get it to 45 kilometers an hour. When I try to toggle that, it just goes straight from 32 to 100, which we know, according to the manual, that's over range, or it's an error message. It'll get an error. And so I'm not sure why it's doing that. So again, if you guys know, please comment and let me know, and so that we can share with everybody that's looking at riding. So with that, stay tuned. I'm going to do more tests. And if there's actual types of trials you would like me to investigate, please comment again and let me know, and I'll see what I can do. So if you felt this video was helpful, please hit the like button and share. And if you want to see other reviews that I'm doing as they come up, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. So with that, cheers, and
let's get out there and just enjoy the great outdoors.